These are basically standard questions, so all the candidates get the
Same question.
Same thing. The first one is, what is the function of government?
It is to do the will of the people. It is to protect us from foreign powers in the country and out of the country. That is the job of our government.
Okay. Why do you want to be elected to this position, and what is your primary goal?
I want to be elected to the position because we need people with different ideology. We can't keep going the same way. We need people that think differently and act differently than the way they've done in the past. My primary goal, I have three, but is the one that struck me and motivated me was Obamacare. That's what really motivated me, and that was because I saw our liberties and our rights were starting to be taken away from us, that if they didn't listen to us about this, they're never going to listen to us. So that's really what motivated me.
Okay. What are the most critical issues facing government today, and how will you contribute to the solutions?
Well, the Obamacare, and I will stand behind whoever is, well, like Rod McKenna, but also any bill that will limit it. There are several states that have already passed bills in their states, Arizona the leading one, that they will not have Obamacare. I would do that. Number two would be deregulating businesses so that they can prosper. When they win, the state wins. And I would do that by lowering the minimum wage to national level,
Wow.
make it a right-to-work state, and just start breathing life into the small businesses. I can do that by, when they start out, a new business, don't require any taxes or anything from no business licenses, don't require anything from these people. Let them start prospering. The B&O tax, bring it back to net, paying taxes on net, not gross. And I guess that's about all I can, so far. So far.
Okay. Excuse me. If revenue increases become necessary at some future date, what recommendations would you have for revenue sources?
Do you know what? It's just like our budget at home. Well, we can look for other ways, but I don't know where they would find anything else. We need to cut. We need to get the fat away. We can't raise. We cannot keep raising because there's no limit to raising things. You have to look at it differently and start cutting the fat.
What would you like to see done to improve the climate for business in this state?
You've kind of answered that.
Yeah,
Especially the
Yeah.
B&O is a huge
Yes.
one, the B&O minimum wage. And also that even a lower wage, when I don't know how many of you have trained people, it is costly to train someone. I don't care what the wage is. You're doing their job, you're doing your job, and they're breaking things, messing things up, and that's part of learning. So the wage needs to be lower for trainees. And maybe they could be on a lower wage for 2 years until they know the position. You know what? And I think businesses could train more people that way. But it's a big deal to train people.
What is the government's role in protecting the rights of private property owners?
To use, number one, eminent domain as it was meant to be used. Do not elaborate on it and change the meaning of it. They're to protect our property rights. A man's property is crucial to who the man is. It really is.
Okay.
What's your opinion about the relationship between legislators and public employee unions?
You really like to get me in trouble.
No?
Well, I don't think they should be paid higher than the private sector, ever. They're working for the public, so they shouldn't get more than the public does. I think we have way too many public employees, and we can cut them back. And that's another place we can start, yes, a happy thing, but their health insurance. They do not pay a lot on their health insurance, so we could do that comparably with the outside sector.
Do you feel that marketplace competition in schools will improve education?
Yes, I would love to see charter schools. We always do better at everything when there's competition. And I mean, whether we're running a marathon or whatever we're doing, competition is what makes us Americans, because it makes us strive to a higher level. Competition is a good thing. It's a good thing. You're
Oh.
talking to a competitive person. I like competition.
Please provide an example of how you would place your constituents' interests before your party.
Well, a good one is the Obamacare. That one is a strong one, right there. Although the Republicans weren't for it, but if I was a Democrat, I would not be for it. It is not good.
In your opinion, what programs in Washington State need to be cut or eliminated? Would you support legislation to back up what you say?
Yes. And I would like to see the abused entitlement programs cut. And you know what? It's easier than people think, because it is so abused. We see the abuse with the population we work with. We work with homeless people, and they will use that Quest card as a snack card for pop, chips, pizza, not the necessities of life like flour, sugar, those things. So what I would do is I would go back to making it that they could only buy the things you have to cook with: flour, sugar, shortening, salt, pepper, fruit, vegetables, meat. That is one way. And then the other thing I was thinking about the other day was, if a family receives food stamps, then they certainly should not be entitled to subsidized breakfast and lunch at school, because we're already giving them the money for that. So that is another way.
What specifically are you going to do to try to win this election?
What am I specifically going to do? Talk to as many people as I can, knock on as many doors as I can, make as many telephone calls as I can. Those are the three things that I have that I can do, that I do not have to depend on someone else. But I can do that.
Do you have people helping?
Yes, yes. We just got a pretty good crew together for telephoning, and I'm going to make that competitive. It's always more fun when it's competitive.
Are you going to doorbell?
Oh, I have been.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
I missed some. I'm sorry. I was trying to put my phone on vibrate. I
No, I've
apologize.
already doorbelled. I've only doorbelled 200 houses so far, but I'm off work now, so I'll be able to do it more. I like it. I think it's fun talking to the people, and you really get a feel for what's happening. And out of those 200 houses, I've only had 2 people shut the door on me. Is that
What
amazing?
locations are you? Because I live in the 35th district. It's a very large district, and I was just kind of curious how you're trying to work
Okay,
it.
I was given the 205th precinct, and so I went through McCormick Woods, and let's see where else. There were a couple places in Shelton. I did Lake Devereaux. I did across the street from the high school, North Mason High School, which is in Belfair. And we did Lakeland Village. We're trying to get the ones where the houses are closer together.
Good.
Well, where do you live in that?
I live on Chico.
That's
I
a
live
little
in-
stretched out, huh?
Yeah, I live at towards the end. As a matter of fact, my boss lives at the very end, in Anderson Hill. There.
Well, when we get these big places done, then we'll start.
It's huge. It's a huge area.
It is a huge area. So what I've been doing is going on Google, the Google map, because I'm not familiar with all the areas, and that is so good. I can zero in and see there are a lot of homes here. That's where I'm going. And so that's
Good.
a help.
Good. And you're campaigning financially, or are you doing well? Okay on that?
I don't know. That's another thing. I don't know what's good or what's bad. I don't know what's good or bad. We have the money for what we're doing now. were able to buy flyers, business cards, let's see, banners. We've been in a parade that was a lot of fun. We overwhelmed them. There were about 25 of us in the Shelton parade.
Oh, good.
We handed out 4,200 flyers in that parade. That's a lot. That was 4,200 doorbells we did not have to ring. I was really excited about that.
Oh, that's good.
So your response?
Well, you know what? At the end, there were about 4 or 5 people that came to our booth, and I did receive their email numbers, and I've been contacting them and trying to motivate them. So that was good.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, or do you have any questions for us?
Well, I know you're 912. I'm a Tea Party conservative. I'm a strong Tea Party conservative. We drove, Courtney included, 7 of us straight to Washington, D.C. 45 hours it took us to get there. We arrived late at night. We got up at 7 in the morning. We didn't even think about it. The adrenaline was going so fast. We didn't have coffee. We didn't have water. We didn't have breakfast. We just right down to the street, and there we went. And at 2:30, back in the car, and 48 hours on the way home.
Wow.
And a month later, when Congressman Michelle Bachmann called people to Washington, D.C., I got off work at 5, called one of my sons. By 9 o'clock that night, we were at SeaTac taking off for Washington, D.C. 9 o'clock in the morning, we were at Washington, D.C. on the street, finished that up, back on the airplane, and back here at 9 o'clock the next night.
Wow.
I mean, we are serious. We know what peril we're in. And we have to have different people that think differently. It can't be politics as usual.
Well, good. That's pretty much all we have. We've kind of let it just keep flowing if you want to.
I don't even know what else to, anything.
Do you have a plan to balance the state budget?
Absolutely. You have to cut. You have to cut.
Well, yeah, I know that's what you said, but I mean, you have a
How?
plan. Yeah, how do you determine?
Well, you start with the Quest card. You certainly start with the Quest card. That is probably one of the most abused portions of DSHS that we see that's happening. And you can have surprise drug tests, and I'll tell you what, you'll probably get rid of 50% of those people. I'm not kidding you. They won't come back because they know they will not pass it. I mean, some of this is very simple that you can do. You make the Quest card essentials only, flour, sugar, beans, rice. You're going to get, people aren't going to want it. They're not going to want it.
The problem is, a lot of those don't know how to cook.
Well, you certainly will learn when you're
You
hungry.
sure will.
We learned how to cook.
Yeah, well, we had to.
We
They didn't
did.
have McDonald's when I was
I know,
young.
or microwaves.
And there's nothing wrong with learning how to cook. That's what makes a home. That's what makes a family. And that's what we're getting away from, too. We need to rebuild that family unit and the community unit. So,
Well, good. We thank you very much. Very much.
Jackie, you made it so easy.
No.
You made it so
We
easy.
all
Thank
as a
you,
group.
Tim.
not
Thank
just-
you, Linda. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you for
And
coming.
yeah, you can